Kind of an amazing piece in the New York Times the other day, an essay entitled, "Was That Racist?" Times reporter Greg Howard highlighted what he says is the systemic racism of white women on New York City sidewalks. Howard says when he's walking around the city, white women, and only white women, repeatedly fail to walk in a courteous manner, forcing him onto the street or the grass if he hopes to avoid a collision, and he's very upset about it. Jason Whitlock is an anchor at our sister network, Fox Sports 1, and he joins us tonight. Jason, thanks a lot for coming on.
No problem. Glad to be here.
So I read this piece, and a couple thoughts went through my mind. One, I think it's a bad habit of mine to start generalizing about groups of people as if they're all the same, or people of a certain appearance act like every other person looks like that person. So that kind of is racism, A. B, I thought this was almost a psychiatric statement when you start imagining that one class of people hates you, who don't even know you, on the sidewalk. What did you make of this piece?
Listen, I want to be completely transparent. I know the writer a little bit. He's written about me. I've interviewed him for a job. I also want to be transparent when I say, Tucker, I don't have a problem with interracial dating. I just want to put that on the record. I've done it. I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
Black men like Greg Howard, who in his piece he spells out that he's had this great affinity towards white women. They've been his sisters, they've been his mothers, they've been his lovers, they've been his best friends. He has an obsession with white women. And black men who have an obsession with white women, and sometimes who date outside their race, they find as a defense mechanism for the criticism they take in the black community is to try to be publicly anti-white. They live a different life in private, and then publicly and through social media and through whatever their media jobs are, they try to act like they're the most militant Malcolm X descendant that you can possibly be. What he's written is insincere, it's infantile, it's what you said, psychiatric. You have to wonder about his sanity and his own identity. He is confused.
If one of my employees wrote a piece like this about any group and said there's some racial group that hates me and each one of them is looking at me weird on the street, first of all, I would pull the piece because I think it's an attack on an entire group, which is not allowed. But second, I would say, you know, you need to go talk to somebody. Why didn't his editors do that?
Because it's the New York Times, and they've devolved into an organization I had a lot of respect for, but now it's just a lot of race baiting. It's the using of confused young people. I think this young man's still under 30 years old. He's clearly got some issues as it related to race. Again, he loves the fruit of white America, the white woman, but he wants to hate the tree that produced it. And it's embarrassing. If this piece were edited, someone should have scrapped it. Someone should have pointed out, you perhaps need some help. It's a diary entry attached to the brand of the New York Times and presented as if it's something we should take seriously. It's just race baiting for the sake of race baiting. Listen, man, if a white woman had a problem with you on the sidewalk, if she were fearful of you, she would step out of your way to avoid you. She's walking towards him.
That's a good point, actually, that I hadn't thought of.
Yeah, he looks so harmless and so respectable that she just assumes, like most men who are chivalrous, he's going to step out of her way. She is not going to walk dead into him and risk a conflict if she had a problem with him. Again, it's like one of these, she can't win either way. If she steps out of the way, it's like, oh, white women are afraid of me, and they step out of the way every time they see me. If she continues on her path and says, oh, this is a respectful guy who looks like someone I would be friends with, maybe she can smell the lust off of him and just thinks he's going to be a gentleman and step out of her way, because that's what most gentlemen do.
That had never occurred to me. That's a very smart point. Jason Whitlock, thanks a lot for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tucker.